I just read this shit, man. It blew my fucking mind. Here's the idea. Everything is your mind, right? So, not like spiritual woo-woo-y. Literally, everything you see is your mind because your sense organs are taking in phenomena and that's all getting translated via your brain into something we call reality. So literally, when you're seeing the color yellow, you're seeing your own mind. That's the way your mind translates whatever the particular wavelength of yellow is into the thing that you call yellow. It's literally your mind. Everything you're seeing is your mind. That's just the way it is. But what happens is we start thinking it's not our mind. There's a me and a you. There's an outside me and an inside me. Even though this is 100% not the case, there is probably something outside of you, but that's not what you're seeing. You're seeing an incredible symphony of neurotransmitters that are all harmonizing in a way that produces your reality. So when you see an enemy or a friend, when you see someone you love and someone you hate, all your mind. The feeling of love, your mind. The feeling of hate, your mind. So when you get really fucking confused, not realizing this is all my mind, you start picking shit out. This person, this thing, that thing, and you would start attaching to it. You start attaching to it to try to feel better, right? So you're like, if I can make this person like me, I'm going to feel better. Now I'm going to feel good again, or something's going to make me feel better. And this is what you're talking about. This is where you begin the never-ending cycle in Buddhism called samsara, where it's just a never-ending attempt to rearrange your mind into some way that is going to give you a sense of like, okay, everything's fine now.
Never ending.
Never ending.
Yeah.
Not only never ending in this life, but literally zillions of incarnations. You've been doing the same fucking thing over and over again in different ways. And so the moment you realize this is my mind, this is all my mind, then all of a sudden that's when shit gets really interesting, because now you might begin to change the way you start trying to get shit out of your mind, out of like, getting the thing you desire, pushing away. You stop defending as much too. You're defending against your own fucking mind. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, so many people are super defensive all the time.
Right.
They're trying to keep themselves from being hurt, which is really smart. But what they're defending themselves from is words, perceived opinions, real like high level social animal shit. They're not defending themselves against bear attacks, lions, arrows. They're defending themselves against like psychic impacts. You know what I mean? So it's not even a danger. Like when someone says some shitty thing to you and you get triggered and then you react to that shitty thing, like experiment with not reacting. Like, see what happens if you don't get revenge when the person does the thing to you they always do that you get revenge for. You just don't get revenge. You just don't do the thing that you thought you had to do, or they're going to do it again. Watch what happens. Nothing. You're fine. Nothing happens. You don't need the aggression, the defense. So yeah, man, that's really interesting to me. It's just your mind, and you're at war with your own fucking mind.
All day long for the rest of your life.
All day long for the rest of your life, every day, a raging war against yourself. I mean, again, I'm not saying that you don't need from time to time to set boundaries and tell someone, don't fucking do that. But at least for me personally, a lot of the time, the stuff that like I was like getting all bristly about, it really was just my own bullshit. There wasn't really anything to get bristly about or to defend against there. And when you start doing that kind of like internal peace work, man, all of a sudden shit around you starts changing because it's your mind. The idea is, if this is all your mind, then if your mind calmed down, maybe all this stuff around you would calm down too.
Yeah.
That's the idea. It might actually be the same thing. So if you start getting calm, if you start getting a little space between you and your thoughts, just maybe your enemies won't seem quite like enemies anymore. The people that you have been waking up in the middle of the night thinking about pouring acid in their mouth, maybe you'll realize it's like that. the example that I read, and then I'll shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, everybody. The example that I read was, it's like someone shoots an arrow at you and they miss. It lands at your feet. This is when someone says something shitty to you or you get upset about something someone's doing. You don't see that person for weeks maybe, but the example is the arrow lands at your feet and you pick it up and you start stabbing yourself with the arrow going, why did they shoot me with this arrow? I can't believe they did that. Every time you bring them to your mind, every time you wake up thinking about them, every time you have that fake conversation when you see them and you're going to one up them, that's just you going, yeah, why did they shoot me with this arrow?
Right.
You know, you're just massacring yourself with your own mind. You don't have to do that. You actually can stop. You don't have to constantly be stabbing yourself.